First thing that you're going to notice when you look at this projector is the incredible build quality. The design is just stunning. It is really, really sexy to look at. Every detail, even the feet, have just been finished to an absurdly high standard and completely unnecessary, but I absolutely love it. It looks absolutely gorgeous. Even the on-off power button looks incredibly good. Now, where this machine is a step up from some that you may have seen before is that this has got a operating system built into it, which I'll show you in just a second. But if you're connecting another device, well, it's got everything that you would expect. It's got a couple of HDMI, USB, and also an Ethernet port, and there's an optical out. There's also an audio out as well, and on the side you've even got another USB and another HDMI, which I quite like because it means that you can just plug something in. So for this review I'm using this ALR screen, which is an ambient light rejecting screen. It just gives the best picture for laser 4K ultra short throw projectors. It does a brilliant job during the day, and this is the type of image that you can expect from the side. The viewing angles are brilliant, I have to say, with this screen and also the projector. I'll leave a link to the review I did on the screen up above, but as you can see, this is bright during the day and it looks great. Slightly darker now and the image is really coming into its own, as they tend to do, but we're still looking at a very bright room. We're only around 8 to 10 inches away from the screen, and it does a 110-inch image from that distance. This is now at night, and as you can see, show you some more footage a little bit later, and I'll show you standard definition as well as more 4K footage, but I want to now show you the operating system when you turn this thing on, and there's some really good features when you're setting this thing up. Okay, so this is the screen that you'll be greeted with when you turn your machine on. As you can see, it's bright and crisp. You've got options to change the background. The first thing that I wanted to show you is this really good feature called geometric correction. So if you go into there, you've got warp control and warp calibration, which puts this green dotted screen above, and there you can go and tweak and change all of the different settings. What I mean by that is that you can actually pull the screen in and out and up and down, and you can do that on any one of these dots. You literally just select one and then move the remote control to the left, to the right, and as you can see, the screen changes likewise. Now, I've got this set up as a 9x9 grid, but you don't have to have it as 9x9. You can have it as 5x5, 3x3, or even 2x2. And then you can just obviously change the screen in exactly the same way. What this really means is that if there's any little just differences or any little nuances that you want to just eke out and straighten up, then you should be able to get the perfect straight screen with this little calibration tool. So I think that's really good. Now, the speaker is another thing which I think that just blows me away. This is without doubt the best speaker I have heard on any projector, and it's even got different sound settings like movie, music, sport, etc. And you can even use the projector as a standalone Bluetooth speaker. So when you turn the projector off, you get greeted with this screen which says shut down or turn to audio mode. If you turn it to audio mode, the screen will go off, but you can listen to audio. I still would say I recommend a separate sound system, because why have all this big screen and not have a 5.1 or 7.1 surround sound? The rest of the settings are pretty standard in exactly what you'd expect. You do only get two projection modes though, front projection or rear projection. This is not designed to be Now, a couple of months ago we did a review on this, which is the Optoma P1, or in the UK it's called the Optoma U8Z65UST, which is a crazy stupid name. However, it's a brilliant projector. It's a laser 4K projector, ultra short throw with a great soundbar type speaker at the front. But we kept on hearing about another model by a company. This is the 4K laser ultra short throw projector from VAVA. But is this thing any good? Well, we'll put it through its paces, so let's take a closer look. Those of you looking to do some research on VAVA, well, you're not going to find any other projectors that they've made because this is actually their debut model. And as debuts go, this is not a bad one. Now, VAVA are a company that was formed in 2015 and are probably more familiar to producing products like baby monitors, dash cams and other accessories. So this, the 4K laser projector, well, it's very exciting. At the end of last year, we looked at one of its competitors, and that was this, the Optoma P1 in the US, or the UHZ65UST in the UK. Now, this again was a really impressive machine. It looked fantastic and produced a brilliant image. And I think what these manufacturers are recognizing with these ultra short throw projectors, which effectively are visible to the world because they sit right in front of your screen, is that they do have to look good. Now, I really believe that both Optoma and VAVA have completely nailed the brief when it comes to design. These projectors look fantastic. The simple lines, and I absolutely love the fabric wrap, really does feel premium. On the back you've got all the usual connectors that you would expect. There's 3 HDMI with 1 audio return channel, there's a USB audio output, AV input, you've got your optical for sound, and you've got your Ethernet port. There's also obviously the power. Just one simple button on top, and on the sides just 2 simple dials which control the height of the legs. As you can see, there's large vents on both sides, and with the 3 fans that are built in, it keeps it very cool and effectively very quiet. Okay, so I think it's time we got this thing fired up. Now, we're using this ALR screen from Vivid Storm. It's an ambient light rejecting screen, and these work perfectly with laser ultra short throw projectors. We're not going to be covering a full setup video in this one. This is purely the review. Okay, so we've got the projector set up and turned on, and the first test that we're going to be doing is in daylight conditions. And when I pan up and show you the screen, I'm sure you'll agree it's pretty impressive. Now, I've just paused this image just so that you can see it in its entirety, but this is projecting onto a 100-inch ALR screen, and that ALR screen will also make some difference in these ambient light conditions. My dog is always asleep, as you can see, but this is a very, very bright room. I've also got lights on as well, and so therefore this is a brilliant image. Now, it is 2,500 lumens, so that's what's pumping out that brightness. And with that ambient light rejecting screen, that really does have an effect on making sure that the image is as bright as possible, which I'm sure you can see. Let me know what your thoughts are, guys, but this is pretty crisp. It's one of the best that we've seen. Now, the sound that you're hearing is coming directly from the Harman Kardon speaker. There are 2 30-watt speakers, and again they produce some of the best sounds we've seen. Now, I do believe that these central UST laser projectors are missing a little bit of a trick, because they should also be able to double up as a center speaker in a 5.1 or 7.1 surround system, because for instance with this screen it's not an audio pass-through screen, and so therefore it would be great to have that speaker as a dedicated center channel. Okay, so I'm going to touch on the downloading of different applications and what you can do within the actual system itself. But one thing that you must do when you've got extra things, peripherals plugged in, like a Blu-ray player or a satellite cable, is to go into the hidden menu, which is basically just a long press on the menu, and then you need to make sure HDMI CEC is turned on and also HDMI 2.0 is turned on. Otherwise, you'll be limited and you won't be able to get true 4K HDR on any of your third-party devices like a Blu-ray player that you may plug in. Now, I have seen a couple of reviews where it says that you can't install YouTube, but you can. As you can see, this is YouTube now, and even better, you can get it in 60 frames per second and in HDR. And so if you have got those videos which are shown in that format, then you'll get all of the benefits of that, as you can see on the screen now. Now, another really good advantage with the VAVA compared to something like the Xiaomi projector is the fact that everything is in English straight away, and so therefore the navigating through those menu systems, the translation and problems that you get sometimes with Chinese translation into English, you just don't see on this VAVA. And so therefore operating it, learning the different menu, again, which I'm not boring you with, I'm just giving you a quick overview here, but learning all of that is very, very simple with this, the VAVA. So that's definitely an advantage and more akin to obviously the Optoma. I mentioned earlier the fact that you can download your own apps directly to this, and that is via Aptoid TV, which is one of those programs which is a little bit hit and miss. I found that the Smart YouTube app which I downloaded was brilliant, it worked excellently and had no problems with. However, things like Netflix and others that I tried, I just couldn't get to work. So I definitely recommend, and I'm sure if you're spending this type of money, that you'll have your own device that you'll be plugging in, something like a Shield, something like an Apple TV, and I would say that that is going to be far